1 2 1 2.
Check, check.
You can leave it, it's really deep.
Radio check 1 2. Radio check 1 2 1 2.
Alright, hey RCT. RCT stands for Radio Check Team. Some time ago I posted a video of how I would just use the acronym. That way we save time on the radio check team, but we're a team, so it'll be dedicated as RCT. So this is going to be my video about going through my gob or go bag or get out bag. Never heard someone call it gob, but it's similar to a bob, a bug out bag. And I just wanted to go through the bag. I've been meaning to make this video for a very long time actually, and I put off the video for quite some time because I was worried about the background. I am a 11-12 year photographer, and one of the I guess the things that you learn as a photographer is the background, the image, the color, the lighting, and I'm very picky when it comes to me not having a very clear setting when it comes to videos or photos. Every time I take a photo, every time I take a video, I always look in the background and make sure it's either clean or it's lit or there's no distracting obstructions. That's just one thing that you typically want to keep in mind, is that when you're shooting the video, it's focusing on what you're intended for the viewer to see. This video is really just intended for you to look at my bug out bag and what I'm going to put on the table. By no means is it supposed to be about me or anything else other than just what I have in my go bag. So again, this video is going to be more for me to reevaluate and review what I have in my go bag. Long story short, I built this bag, I would say 10 years ago, and in fact I used to have a different bag that was a desert tan, similar military looking bag. Actually, my first was a bug out bag, a bob, and it was a MMP military style bag. And I thought, you know, kind of learning more about go bags and bug out bags, you never really want the bag to seem valuable. You always want to make it blend into your environment or blend into your situation. And in this case, I live in the city, and having a military style bag is probably going to get a lot of attention if I'm coming to and from work. And so I decided to create a go bag, I'm sorry, and I put only what I need to get home. So the difference of a bug out bag and a go bag is a go bag is intended to get yourself home from a location. Let's just say if you're at work, you're at school, college, or you're across town, you're camping. This bag is specifically made for you to get home, and then from home you'll get your bug out bag or whatever other essentials you need to take with you. So forgive me, I did lose my Bluetooth microphone, so I am using the desktop. Hopefully it's picking up audio really well. I do apologize. I do have my fish tank in the back, and it does have a waterfall, so you can kind of hear the water. So I apologize if you can't hear, and hopefully I can make adjustments if it doesn't go well. If not, I'll just do the video again, not a problem. So all right, so going through this again, this is a go bag. This is intended to be a to and from. In fact, if you pay attention to DHS, Homeland Security, they always encourage you to have a 72-hour survival or 72-hour emergency kit. And this is essentially my 72-hour kit or a 3-day kit, where I got birds fighting outside. Sorry, the door's open. It's Sunday, the sun's out, birds are chirping. It's a great day, so I have the back door and the front door open. But again, DHS, our own Homeland Security, advises that we should have a emergency kit 72 hours. This is being recorded in December of 2023. We've all have seen how pandemics and other natural disasters have really put us to the test to see if we as Americans or citizens are prepared to survive these situations. Long story short, again, I've had backgrounds that made me be prepared to survive out in the wilderness, Boy Scouts and police explorers and FLETC training, federal law enforcement training. There's a lot of different backgrounds that I've been through or been introduced to that kind of makes me prepare anytime I leave the house. So obviously when I leave the house is your phone, keys, and your wallet. And during the pandemic was phone, keys, wallet, and the mask. And if you were essential, you had your letter from your employer that you needed to be at work, you're essential. So our EDC, our everyday carry, changes with environment, changes with the year, changes really where you're being impacted. And one of the things I really came across this past year more strongly is radio communication. Cell phones are very powerful devices. Cell phones are very helpful to us in a day-to-day. You can, there's more you can do on a phone than you can do on a laptop or a computer. These apps just do amazing jobs at what we need versus sitting down on a laptop. In fact, sorry for ranting on, but just to give you a background, I've worked with a younger generation at one of the companies I worked for. And this gentleman was about 19, 20, and he struggled at computers. And he couldn't really do Excel or Word, couldn't really type. And I said, if you don't mind me asking, do they show you how to use computers, or did you take computer classes at school? And he said, no, it's all tablets. It's all those Google Chromebooks, phones. And so they really took away a lot of the skills that I grew up with. When I was young, I took computer class. I think I was really introduced to computers in elementary school. When we had floppy disks, and you can see, hopefully that gives my age away. Floppy disks were a thing, and not the floppy disk, the plastic hard ones. It was actually the flimsy floppy disk. And my mom used to remind me all the time, and she'll tell me, learn computers. And she'll tell my sister, learn computers. And she kind of did. She hesitated a little bit, but I think once we got into the workforce, you realize that computers were coming in. My first job, or my first few jobs, didn't really have computer. It was still paperwork. My first security company was still paperwork, pen and notepad. And so again, everything changes, it evolves. We don't really see pen and paper with security guards or police anymore. It's all through the CAD, your computer aid dispatch. With security guards, they use some sort of a track tick or a silver track or some sort of phone app that makes you record information. So again, our EDC is changing all the time. And going back to the Go bag, this was designed 8 years ago, maybe more, after my Bob bug out bag. This is my Go bag, get out bag. And so we're gonna go through this. I promise you I haven't made any adjustments. I actually haven't gone through this bag in a couple of years, if not more. Again, this is for me to evaluate myself, self-assessment, and see what I need to improve on. Obviously, there's probably going to be some things in here that I don't need or I could use. When I first moved to Arizona, I came across the Baofengs, and the Baofengs they're really inexpensive. It came with everything. I think it was like $20, maybe $30. You get the radio, the battery, then 10 of the the earpiece, kind of all in one packet. And I bought an extra one, threw it in here. and I don't know if it's even in here anymore because I grew a habit to change my EDC to be part of grabbing a radio whenever I leave. If I always have a radio in my cars, all the cars have Astro Spectra, and it's analog and P25. So whether we take it 3000 or 5000 or something that can talk to it, it's not so much more important. But what we do is anytime we leave the house, we think, all right, if we need a split, what radio do we want to use? You've seen a few of my videos. If not, you can go back and check those out. But we discuss if we want to take the Baofengs or the B-Techs or the Cotree DMR radios or the FRS on radios from Walmart, or sometimes we'll take the 3000s. So we always talk about what we're going to take when we leave. If we're going away on a trip, if we're going to be road tripping across the state, we're going to go exploring, off-roading, we still take these regardless, because if we do split up, we can communicate from this to the car. So hopefully you're kind of understanding where I'm going with this being part of radio check. It has to do with communication and part of your go bag. If you ever watch those shows, Doomsday Preppers, a lot of those preppers, or those that were on the show, had some sort of communication, whether it was FRS radios, CB radios. I think the one guy, he was a ham operator. A few of them actually were big time ham operators, and it's great to have that ability, the capability, the equipment. Only thing I'm really shy from is getting heavy into ham radio, because if you have to leave your house, all that equipment is useless unless you're going to bug in. But if you have to bug out, what are you going to take with you unless you're preparing yourself with handheld radios? What kind, what platform, batteries, how you're going to charge the batteries, extended antennas, and so forth. So this is why I'm going to go through my go bag, and we'll see how well I did before and how well I'm prepared now. So, all right. So again, we're just going to go through it. We'll start from the very front. Okay. And I'll maybe what I'll do is explain why and how, or more why I put something in the bag and why I thought it was important. Okay. So no judging. Wait to the end. Make your comments, and just try to get an idea of why I put it in here. And help me out if you have a better way or a better idea. Okay. So first, I think this was a mosquito net. I do live in Arizona. We do have mosquitoes from time to time, and sometimes it gets really bad that you can't even walk down the street without being bit up. Mosquitoes carry diseases, and that's one thing I really want to stay away from. It's getting bit so much that it's going to lessen my chances of surviving. So mosquito net. Rope, they always say bring rope with you for whatever reason. That might be just more of a bob, but it's in here for obviously several different reasons. Sunscreen, okay. Again, Arizona does get hot here. Sometimes just being in the sun for 5, 10, 15, or even just 30 minutes, I get burnt. I have a shaved head, so it doesn't really help me if I don't have a hat. And I think I used to have a hat in here, and it may not even be in here. Okay. Looks like mosquito repellent. I don't know what this is. I think this is soap. Okay, this is soap. Medicine. I think I have tons in here. A few Band-Aids. What is that? What is that? Pepto. And down here kind of gives you a little bit more of a breakdown of what is this? Benadryl, Claritin. I don't even know what's all in here. Ibuprofen. This is, I think, the Aleve. Again, I don't know why these were in here. Some of these look like they were regular medications, and I just maybe thought to myself, if I'm not going to make it home, maybe I should put my daily medication. And I think maybe that is a smart idea. There have been some times where I go out of town and it's either too late or I don't make it home. I have to pull over and take a nap in the car, and I don't take my medication, which can be probably pretty dangerous. Handkerchief, Again, if you watch Doomsday Prepper, on one of them it says why take a water filter, or why, you can eliminate a lot of things in your bag by just carrying a handkerchief. You can use this to filter water, tourniquet, whatever the case is. It has a lot of uses to it. You can make it a mask and so forth. Bag, for whatever reason, notepad. So I do have a few notepads in here. There's something in here, I don't know what it is. So I have a checklist in here. Looks like maybe I was working on the checklist of what I need. This is just a notepad that is, here we go. Looks like it has my XTS3000 frequencies and SP50 frequencies. Wow, okay. FRS, GMRS frequencies, okay. You can see that. That's actually a good idea to have in here. I have Mesa repeaters. I have phone numbers in here. That's a good one. Phone numbers. If your cell phone goes down, runs out of battery, and there's a landline you can use, you may not remember your phone, your phone numbers to your friends or family. So it's a good idea to have it written down, and this is exactly what it is. Addresses to friends, temporary repeaters, medical supply store where I can go. That's a good idea. Medical supply store of where I can go if I need to get medical supplies. Okay, so this was on the right path, so that's pretty cool. Completely forgot I had that. And then something else in here, I don't know. How to sharpen a knife. Okay. Maybe I don't need that in here. I don't know why it's in here. But maybe there's a purpose at that time, right? I have these metal zip ties. I always thought to myself, if I need to hold a chain link fence or hold a few things, I don't know if I have zip ties in here, but this would be a good way to temporarily hold them. I can also use them as far as linking keys together. I actually picked these up on Geek and they turned out to look like that. I'm not sure if you can see that. Let's see. Bill, do you have a lighter? I don't know how many times we all ask each other for a lighter. Okay. I think this is a poncho. And mosquito repellent bracelet. Again, I'm not a fan of mosquitoes. I don't think anybody else should be. Sharpie, they always say carry a Sharpie in case you need to leave notes on the wall or leave a note somewhere for someone. So that's always something I have. So that's the first pocket. All right. I'm gonna go up here. Earplugs. Again, this is where I said I have this, where I have a handcuff key and a carabiner. Let's see. Kit, tweezers, mirror, nail clippers, little scissors, cash. I've always learned to carry cash with you in case you come across a vending machine that uses dollars. Typically you're supposed to use coins, but I don't want to carry a bunch of coins around. Headphones in case I need to be on my phone or listen. I think this can also fit some radios, so I carry these just in case. Unfortunately, some of the newer phones don't have the auxiliary plug-in, but I carry them just in case I come across another phone or device that I can plug into and listen to it discreetly. So that's another thing I consider when I think about getting home or getting out, is being discreet. Any sort of audio or lights, you're going to want to eliminate those. I think these are extra batteries for my flashlight. I have a, what is it called? Bushnell. I'm gonna go to the side right here real quick. Small pocket knife. Okay, never have enough of these. So that's here. handcuffs. Again, the field that work in, they always say keep a pair of handcuffs with you. So I have on the sides there. All right, on to the big bag, the bigger pocket. Headlamp. Okay. The only bad part about these is if you don't take the batteries out before they corrode, you can really screw yourself over. So make sure these are fresh or take them out. I normally have another Ziploc bag with the battery separated. I think I might have recently used these. That's why the batteries are in here. If you leave the batteries in here for too long, especially in the heat, they can really corrode and damage your flashlight or your devices. All right. I do have a rechargeable, solar rechargeable battery pack. Again, it's been a long time since I've even plugged this in. I did test it out the one time. Unfortunately, this was years ago. It did work well. It did charge fully, and it did recharge a phone. It has a USB, I don't know what this one is, USB something. And then this side is another USB something. So that would be the side that you plug in the phone port, the phone charger port to, and you plug that into the wall. You'll just plug it in here. And again, this can be used to charge anything else as well. Again, I picked this, and I picked the Baofeng because Baofeng can be charged with this. It's a slower charge than what you would get with a dock, but something is better than nothing, right? Here are a few cables. The reason why I picked this is in the event I come across another device, phone, radio that needs to be charged. Again, this would be the plug-in side here, and then I can swap these out and plug them in. Okay, so I think this is something pretty cool to have in your bug out bag or your go bag. Different options and ways to recharge devices. This one does come with the USB, micro USB, I think this is called. Again, now we have moved on to micro USB-Cs. iPhones and Androids have those now, so this is really outdated, so I'll have to find a new one that has that support, that supports USB-C. Okay. A different type of a Leatherman. Okay, these are always good. I've actually used this a few times. I always keep one in my car because you never know when you're going to need a tool. And these are always great to have for screwdrivers, pliers, and anything else it comes with. So always have one of these in your car. Alright, so I think that is it. Oh, and then we have binoculars. I think these are my grandpa's. Hold on, I'll see you in a few minutes. That's my pet bird that got out. She didn't get out. We always left the door open in case she wants to leave. She decided to leave, and she comes around every so often just to eat, say hi, and leave. So binoculars, a good way to check the environment before you enter the environment. I always like to know what lies ahead before getting into that. So this is a good keep in here. Alright, and I think that's it for that third pocket. And this is the main pocket now. Alright, here we go. Baofeng. I'll go through this in a few minutes. We'll leave this to the side. This is, I think, just wipes. You can use it for toilet paper. You can use it as gauze, stop the bleed. Pretty much anything. Wipe your behind, wipe your nose, blow your nose, whatever. Mask. So again, before the pandemic, I had carry masks. It was just something I've always had a habit of doing. And so this is actually way before even COVID. I bought this, I think just at Dollar Tree or one of the stores. And I knew that N95 was your better bet of keeping whatever out of the mask, what they say. So that's in there. Again, zip ties, you want to zip tie something together or someone. Those are just a good tool to have with you. Yeah, you can fix things, keep them together, whether it's for your car or something else. These are, I think, disinfectant wipes. And again, these are obviously trash now because once you start leaving these in your car, they dry up. They're useless. And I think this is an unused bag. Should we open it? I want to open it. I want to see what it looks like. There you go. They're dry. Probably same thing with this. That's the risk you take. I bought these activated charcoal mask. A few different reasons why I got this. I saw a video somewhere where people on the subway in New York died because of a fire and they inhaled too much smoke. And someone said that charcoal does very well at filtering even smoke. So I have those in here again, just a chance to survive. I do carry socks that I actually, what do you call it? What do you call these? Where you take the air out, you seal it, vacuum seal it. There we go. Socks to me is probably the most important piece of clothing you have on you. The drier the feet, the more chances you have of getting further. Wet feet can lead to sores and blisters and infection, and it's better just to keep your feet dry. If you're trekking through water, if it's through a haboob, through a monsoon, through a puddle of water or a lake, whatever the case is, you're gonna have to you're gonna want to change your socks out, and as much as you can, and not stain your socks. So I have two pairs in here. Do have a canteen. This I bought separately. I think I bought this separately at what's that one store they call? Maybe it was just Walmart. I'm not too sure. There we go. Ozark Trail. So it was Walmart, and I think I picked this one because it fit just at the bottom, and of course water. Can't have enough water. And I picked this one because they say don't leave plastic bottles in your car, especially in the heat. It releases a BPA chemical that can cause cancer and so forth. And plus you can use this to heat. I did also see that if it's double insulated, you can't use this to heat up the water or boil the water. It causes pressure and it could explode, and whatever the case is. But better to have it than not have it. I think that's why once I read that, I knew I could use this, so I went and got this, and it's just a perfect little match. There you go, hat. Okay, so if I'm wearing a hat, going through the desert, going through the sun, I don't want to burn my scalp, but the sunscreen could be useful for your arms, back of your head, back of your knees. That's the last thing you ever want to do, is try to survive a situation and you're just jacked up with sunburn. I carry one of these in here. I've come across, I guess, situations where someone has expressed the need for some sort of a can opener. There are ways or hacks to open cans. I think a Russian crazy hacker showed us how to open a can. You flip it upside down and you scrape it on concrete and it opens up, and that's fine. I'd just rather have a tool that has a can opener and a bottle opener. Just better to have it than not have it, right? I mean, it doesn't really take up that much room. It's really flimsy and it might not even work, but again, better to have it than not. Tea, coffee, hot chocolate. Again, these are just more of if I'm stuck somewhere. So I used to work at a mall that was in the middle of nowhere. And the reason why I mean middle of nowhere is because it was on a reservation where it wasn't on a block, in a regular block area. It was on reservation. There was a gas station across the street, not even across the street, on the other side of the casino. There was a casino across the street, but the general rule is when you're at the mall on the clock, you can't leave. That's infrastructure security, blah, 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 job abandonment. So I learned to take food with me because I used to work second shift, 3 to 11, and the 11 to 7 guard will never show up. And I used to have to be, I would get stuck there, not being able to leave my post. No one's willing to come in last minute or last call off. The policy was you have to stay on shift until someone relieves you. I worked a lot of 16-hour shifts without eating or drinking anything. So I learned to just carry these with me in my go bag. Luckily I did, because when that person didn't show up, I had coffee, I had tea, I had hot chocolate to drink. And that's also why I learned to carry food ready to eat. I don't have cup noodles, I don't have a butane stove. These are just packaged meals ready to eat. And I ate a lot of these again when I worked that security shift, because can't leave. This was before Uber Eats and before Postmates and before all those food deliveries. She wasn't always available to drop me off food, and it was just a waste of time and money for someone to drop off food. And so again, I just learned to keep these with me, specifically protein enriched, I guess you would call it. Sodium and protein. And then beef jerky that I also sealed up, because beef jerky, again, is just really good. It's a slow digesting meal or meat that kind of keeps your stomach busy. So I have that. All right, I think that's all I have in here. Again, this is just my go bag. Let's talk about the Baofeng now. Hopefully you can see that. So I bought an extra one and took it out of the box and threw it right in here. I bought an extra battery. It normally comes with the small batteries. I went ahead and bought 2 of those extended batteries. Okay, it comes with your UHF, VHF antenna. Comes with the earpiece that I keep in there, because again, if I'm walking home, I want to be able to listen without the speaker going off and people hearing that I have a radio. Again, when something happens, we don't know how someone is going to act when you have something that they may find useful. Even if they don't know how to use it, even if they don't know what the value is, they're going to want your things no matter what. They don't care if it's a lighter or matches. They're going to want your matches or lighter. So I want to be discreet as much as I can when I'm walking to and from work in a disaster or incident or end of the world, zombie apocalypse, whatever the case is. I want to be conspicuous and not bring a lot of attention to myself. So I would really hook up the earpiece to the radio and listen to whatever I want to listen to. Obviously, a Baofeng is not designed to go very far. I think these are 1 to 5 watts. Now they have 8 watts, they have 10 watts, they have 25 watts. I mean, now we have radios that can go miles and miles beyond this. 1 to 4 watts. 1 watt is going to get you within a neighborhood, within a building. 4 watts generally I've seen go between 1 and 2 miles, again, all depending on the range. These Baofengs, I tested them the other day. Unfortunately, this one did worse than a 3000. She went to go run errands. We always jump on 3000s. And excuse me 1 second. I'm gonna drink something. I'm talking too much. So she went to the grocery store and we tried these out. And I think she barely got a block away, and we couldn't hear anything. So if it's true, 4 watts, 5 watts, I don't know. I haven't really put a test to the wattage yet. I probably should. These do work a little better. So I am obviously going to upgrade my communication from not just this, but also I'm going to add another 3000 to the bag. The reason why I'm going to keep both of them, and you may want to criticize me because you're going to tell me that there's a better way to do it, which is okay. But since I have these already, I'm going to do it for now. I'm going to keep the Baofeng here. This is a UV5R. Keep the Baofeng in here because it's what they call, I guess, front panel programming. I can turn this on and program any frequency in here. MERS, FRS, GMRS, ham, DPS, whatever the case is, I can go in here and plug it in. Has CTCSS, DCS, so it has all these capabilities that I can essentially program this in the field. I can't really program this in the field because this does not have front panel programming. I can pre-program it with the same as this, but if there's something else I want to come across, listen to, adjust, I can do that on here. I just can't do it on here. This is guaranteed to give me better range because I have used this. I think I've gotten a good 5 miles or so from radio to radio in a clear terrain. I'm sure it can go further. This I really haven't tested this in the field as far as different terrains just yet, and maybe we'll do that because it is just 1 watt. Maybe I'll get the 8 and the 10 and 25 watt and we'll see the difference. But for now, this is staying in here. I already have the earpiece. I do need to get an earpiece for this one. The earpiece for this one is different. It's not universal. It's the same. It has pins instead of these. The phone jack pins. That doesn't fit here, so you need to buy a different earpiece for this, which is fine. You can find them anywhere pretty much. But I have this already. I do have the 2 batteries. It does again have this port on the side. So again, I think it's the yellow one. There you go. So it's exactly why I bought the extra batteries. The traditional batteries, the small batteries that this comes with, doesn't have the charger on the side. You can only charge it through the dock. The last thing I want to do is carry the dock and the plug and have to plug it in somewhere. This way I can actually just charge it from the radio, and I can charge this one while this one's being used and so forth, right? I mean, that's really why I kind of put this bag together as I did. The phone charger, again, as I said, did charge and did charge this. It took some time, but I plugged this cable into here, this to here, and I charged the battery, and I just left this in the sun. So that's just a good way to recharge your batteries, recharge your devices. You can do phone, now it can do radio. You can't do this. This is going to be a different way to recharge, or just take extra batteries with you. But you'll have to swap them out. Let's see if this keys up, or yep, there we go. Turns on. Okay. Still full battery. It's been sitting in the bag for, like I said, I don't know, some time now. And let's see if it keys up, which I'm sure it does.
Check 1 2.
Check 1 2 1 2.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2.
Check. All right, so it works. that's a good part. All right, so that's all I really have for my go bag. Again, these are all just the essentials I believe would be necessary to get from work to home. And then once I get home, I have a place for my bob, I have a place for an extra bag. The only other thing I didn't show on this video is a GUN. Again, YouTube, I think, demonetizes or censors GUNs, and I'm just really afraid to introduce that just yet. At some point, I hope to monetize this channel. It'll help with product reviews, purchasing the products. I think just with your views and likes and subscriptions, I think that really helps out. So that just, if you want to help, that's a really great way to do that. If you can just subscribe or tell your friends to do that. Put the video on in the background and let it just play all the way through. So a GON is something I do normally have in here. But again, as I said before, my EDC consists of taking a GUN wherever I go, and that GUN depends on how far I'm going to go, how much AMMO I need. Again, I don't know what kind of words we can use without them flagging it or triggering it. GUN or AMMO. I have several different rounds that I carry with me, but I was carrying a full size in here at some point, and then I thought, why carry a full size? Because again, if I'm at work and I need to get home, the last thing I want to do is carry a big giant GUN with a big holster. It's visible, it can't really conceal. I mean, you can conceal a full size, I just don't know if that's what I need. So I downgraded to a compact and bought a few more MAGs, and I put them in here with the holster, MAG holster, and that normally stays in here. But again, I already take one with me when I go to work, when I go out and about, grocery shopping, running my errands. I always have one. She always has one in her bag, so we're already covered in that sense. I don't always have to keep it in here, especially if it's going to sit in the car. I don't know if I want it in here. It can get stolen. They'll break into your car, or it just corrodes with the heat. You know, right now we're into the winter, into the cooler time in Arizona, so it's okay to carry it in here. Just it's different during the summer, and I think that's why my go bag and my EDC changes. And that's what I was saying at the beginning of the video, that your EDC is changing throughout the year, throughout the seasons, and you might want to carry a full size during the winter when you can conceal it more, a compact during the summer when you're wearing your swimming shorts and tank tops and you have nowhere really to put it. You can get a pocket one, or you can get a special holster. So I'm not really so worried about, again, radios, and I'm not so worried about the GUNs because those are part of my EDC anyways. So that's generally what I also have in here if I'm going to go on a trip. So let's just say I'm going to go out for the weekend, off-roading or camping. I have one in the front seat with me, a GUN, and I might just throw an extra one in here. Or vice versa, I'll just leave one in here and not keep one in the cab with me. So but I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I will make another video once I either make some changes to the bag. Obviously I'll have to restock the damaged products. The food I'll have to check to see if it's expired. I'll have to see if, and again, it's a good way to just test the material and make sure it's not corroded or damaged. Like I said, this sun will just eat up the stuff that you have in there. For example, Baofeng is just a really cheap product. It's a good product. It works. You can key up, and you can Morse code if you need to. Let's see, it's still on. Alright, watch, we're getting Morse code right now. Alright, you can do that. You can alert. Right, You can use a flashlight, FM radio. It does what it needs to do, but it's so cheap. You drop it and that's probably it. The belt clip back here is just so thin and flimsy that I don't think it's going to last if you have to go through terrain. The antenna, again, it's really cheap. I actually have not had an issue with antenna just yet. In fact, the Motorola ones seem to strip before these do, so that's a good sign at least. But if you drop it, the chances of this one surviving over this one are very slim. I don't think this is going to survive a drop. It may, I just don't think it will. This easily moves. If you have this and you're rubbing up against it in your pocket or in your belt clip, and I know I've seen a few that have a rubber band that makes it more tougher to change the volume. I know they sell, what do you call it, the skeleton or the bumper that keeps you from changing the volume. That's great. This one already has all that designed into it. Come on. This one is a little tougher to change. Of course, you have your channel. I already did a video on how I pick a radio, or how you can pick a radio depending on where you're going to go. And some of it had to do with how easy it is to manage the radio. So again, if you have this on your belt clip, the only thing you can change on your belt clip, while this is on your belt clip, is the volume. You can't change the channels, you can't change anything else. But if this is on your belt clip, right? Come on, stay here. If this is on your belt clip, right, it's going to sit on your left side or right side. You can easily look down and start changing channels. So you say, oh, I'll go to channel 3 or 5 or whatever the case is. You can just look down and change that, right? You can also toggle A, B, or C depending on how you have it set up, low power, high power, whatever, scan, and your side buttons as well, right? These don't have the programmable buttons, these do. So again, it just depends on you know, how you want to prioritize your radios, but this is generally not what I'm going to trust to survive if I'm rolling around, going through the bushes, climbing rocks, climbing down rocks. It's not, I don't think it's waterproof. I forgot the IP. It's definitely not. I think this is 68, which means you can dunk it in water and it'll be fine. And I don't think this one is at all. So, but anyways, again, this is my video. I will make some improvements. I will go through this. We can post another video of the changes I've made. Maybe we'll go through and test out, see how well this does. Again, this was something I picked up years ago actually, and I don't even know if it still charges, so we'll have to test that, right? And then maybe we'll test out the can opener, see if it's even worth keeping in here. So, all right, I appreciate you tuning in, appreciate you watching. Feel free to comment your thoughts, your ideas, your suggestions, what you do, what you find best or worse, and help me improve, and we'll do the same. So let's see if I can, you know me, I gotta do over now. So like, comment, subscribe, share, watch the video, tell your friends, head over to Radio Check. And before I close out the video, I did want to explain that my original intentions with Radio Check was EDC. I think it was just more of a clever name that I picked, but the original intentions was to introduce radios, EDC in my adventures. And so this is going to be my first YouTube video that's not dedicated on radio. So feel free to stick around and see what else I post as far as adventures or knowledge and experience, and hopefully it helps you in your day-to-day. If not, hopefully you can help me. All right, thanks for watching. Subscribe, share, like, hit me up on Instagram, and we'll see you in the next video. Radio Check over now.
To the 964 northbound 051 at Bell. Per the GPS, it's going to be in the gore point for the Bell off-ramp northbound, and the involved is stating he possibly has a broken arm, which I'm starting to expire for at 21 hours.